topic is anatomy of dicot leaf. The example for dicot leaf is a sunflower leaf. So the internal structure of dicotyledonous leaf shows the following regions such as epidermis, mesophyll and vascular bundle. The outer covering or epidermis, middle mesophyll region and vascular tissues are present. Epidermis. The leaves of dicotyledons are generally dorsiventral leaf. So dorsiventral means the leaf of the mesophyll of the leaf possess two different type of tissues. One is palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. So the dorsiventral leaf, it has upper and a lower epidermis. Normally the root and shoot are having a single epidermal layer, but leaves possess two epidermis, upper and the lower epidermis. The epidermis is usually made up of a single layer of cells that are closely packed without any intercellular spaces. The epidermis are closely packed without any intercellular spaces. Above the epidermis, a thick cuticle is present. The cuticle is present in both upper and also in lower epidermis. Compared to the lower epidermis, the upper epidermis having a cuticle which is very thick in nature in order to check transpiration. The epidermis possesses a minute opening. The epidermis possesses a minute opening are called as a stomata. The stomata are more or less in number in the upper epidermis and more in the lower epidermis. Its function is also check transpiration and exchange of gases takes place with the help of a stomata. So the stomata are guarded by two bean-shaped guard cells. So each stomata opens internally into an air chamber. The guard cells contains only the guard cells of the epidermis contains the chloroplast, whereas the other epidermal cell does not possess the chloroplast. The main function of the epidermis, both the inner and also the lower epidermis, is protection in nature. So it protect the inner mesophyll tissues. The the function of the cuticle is to check transpiration. The function of the stomata is to check is used for transpiration and also for a exchange of gases. So the epidermis, in leaves the epidermis made up of two layers. One is the outer epidermis and the upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Both the epidermis are made up of a single layer of tightly packed cell. The epidermis only contains a small pore is called as a stomata. The stomata are guarded by two bean-shaped guard cells. Both the epidermis are covered by a thick cuticle. The cuticle is very thick in the upper epidermis compared to the lower epidermis. Similarly, the number of stomata in the upper epidermis less compared to the lower epidermis. The function of the cuticle is to check transpiration. The function of the stomata is it involves in transpiration and also exchange of gases during photosynthesis. So the stomata is bounded by two bean-shaped guard cells. The internally stomata is open into an air chamber. So the stomatal, the guard cells are having a chloroplast, whereas the other epidermal cells does not contain a chloroplast. The next region is mesophyll. The entire tissue which is present between the upper and the lower epidermis is called as a mesophyll tissue. So the mesophyll is derived from the Greek word meso means a middle and phyllo means a leaf. So the mesophyll is present in the middle of the leaf. There are two regions in the mesophyll. There are two regions in the dorsiventral leaf. They are palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. Palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. The palisade parenchyma is seen beneath under the upper epidermis. Below the palisade parenchyma, the spongy parenchyma are present. The palisade parenchymas are made up of vertically elongated cylindrical cells. They are having one or more layers thick. These cells are compactly arranged without any intercellular spaces. The palisade parenchyma possesses numerous chloroplasts compared to the spongy parenchyma. The function of the palisade parenchyma is photosynthesis in nature because of the presence of a chloroplast in the palisade parenchyma. Its function is photosynthesis. Below the palisade parenchyma, the spongy parenchymas are present. The spongy parenchymas are made up of irregular shaped cells. It also contains the chloroplast. These cells are loosely packed. The spongy parenchymas are arranged with lot of intracellular spaces. These spaces are involved in the exchange of gases. Compared to the palisade parenchyma, the spongy parenchymas are having a only less number of a chloroplast. Compared to the palisade parenchyma, the spongy parenchyma cells are having lesser number of chloroplast. The function of the spongy parenchyma is it is involved in exchange of gases with the help of the air spaces. It is having a lot of air spaces. These air spaces are helpful for the exchange of gases. The air space next to the stomata, is called as a respiratory cavity or substomatal cavity. Respiratory cavity or substomatal cavity. So mesophyll, meso means a middle, phylum means a leaf. That the mesophyll is present in between the upper and the lower epidermis. In dorsiventral leaf, the mesophyll is made up of two type of tissue. One is a palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. The palisade parenchyma is seen beneath the upper epidermis. Below the palisade parenchyma, the spongy parenchyma are present. The palisade parenchymas are made up of vertically elongated cylindrical cells which are tightly packed without any intracellular spaces. The palisade parenchymas are having numerous chloroplasts. With the help of this chloroplast, they are involved in photosynthesis. Below the palisade parenchyma, the spongy parenchymas are present. They are made up of irregular shaped cells. They are arranged with lot of intracellular spaces. It having a lot of air spaces. The number of chloroplasts is less than the palisade parenchyma. So the spongy parenchyma having well developed air spaces. With the help of this air spaces, they are involved in exchange of gases. The air space next to the stomata is called as a respiratory cavity or substomatal cavity. The last is a vascular tissues. In leaf, the vascular tissues consist of a phloem and a xylem. The leaf vascular bundles are conjoined. Conjoined means the phloem is facing towards the outside, whereas the xylem is facing towards the inside. Collateral, conjoint, collateral and closed. So in conjoint vascular bundle, the xylem and phloems are arranged in same radii. In collateral, the phloem is facing towards the outer side and the xylem is facing towards the inner side. And closed, here the cambium is absent in the leaf, so it is closed. The xylem is present towards the upper epidermis, whereas the phloem is present towards the lower epidermis. The xylem is present towards the upper and phloem is present towards the lower epidermis. The vascular bundles are surrounded by a compact layer of parenchymatous cells are called as a bundle sheath or bordered parenchyma. So if the vascular bundles are surrounded by a parenchyma tissues, they are called as a bordered parenchyma or bundle sheath. So it is called bundle sheath. Bundle sheath means the vascular bundles are surrounded by a parenchyma are called as a bundle sheath or bordered parenchyma. So the vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral and closed. The xylem is present towards the upper epidermis and the phloem is present towards the lower epidermis. Collateral means the xylem and phloems are arranged in a same radii. The phloem is present towards the outer side and the xylem is present towards the inner side. Closed means there is no cambium is present in between the xylem and the phloem. Anatomy of monocot leaf. Monocot leaf example is grass leaf. The transverse section of grass leaf are also showing as same as the dicot leaf sunflower. So the internal structure of a grass leaf shows following parts such as epidermis, outer epidermis, mesophyll and bundle sheaths. That is vascular bundle. Epidermis, mesophyll and vascular bundles. So epidermis in grass leaf, the upper and the lower epidermis are present. Both the epidermis are made up of a single layer of thin-walled parenchymatous cells. So the epidermis are made up of thin-walled parenchymatous cells. The outer walls are covered with a thick cuticle compared to the lower epidermis. The outer epidermis are having a thick cuticle compared to the lower epidermis. The stomata are more in number in the lower epidermis compared to the upper epidermis. In grass leaf, the stomata are bounded by a dumbbell-shaped guard cells. In dicot leaf, the stomata are guarded by a bean-shaped guard cells. In grass leaves, the stomata are bounded by a dumbbell-shaped guard cells. The guard cells contains a chloroplast, whereas the other epidermal cells does not possess the chloroplast. In this epidermal cell, some cells are specialized, surrounded by guard cells. They are distinct from the other epidermal cells, are called as a subsidiary cells. You already learned about subsidiary cells. The guard cells are surrounded by some specialized parenchymatous cells, are called as a subsidiary cells. Some of the cells which are present in the upper epidermis are larger compared to the other epidermal cells. These cells are bulliform cells. Some of the upper epidermis possess a larger epidermal cells compared to the other epidermal cells. They are thin-walled. Such cells are called as a bulliform cells. So, or motor cells. What are called bulliform cells? In monocot leaves, the epidermis, some of the epidermal cells are larger in size and thin-walled. Such epidermal cells are called as a bulliform cells or motor cells. These cells are helpful for the rolling and unrolling of the leaves. So these are used for rolling and unrolling of the leaves according to the weather changes. Some of the epidermal cells of the grasses are filled with silica. They are called as a silical cell. In some epidermal cell, the silica is present in it. Such cells are called as a silica cells. The next, mesophyll. The middle part of the leaf is called as a mesophyll, which is present in between the upper and the lower epidermis. Here the mesophyll is not differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. So the grass leaf is isobilateral leaf. If the mesophyll is not differentiated into two different type of tissues are called as a isobilateral leaf. Iso means a single. Both the sides are having a single type of tissue is called as a isodiametric or isobilateral leaves. The cells are compactly arranged with limited intracellular spaces. They contains numerous chloroplast. The mesophyll cells are contains a more number of chloroplast. They are tightly packed with only a few air spaces are present in it. The next, vascular tissues. The vascular bundles different in size. Most of the vascular bundles are smaller in size. Larger bundles occurs at a regular interval. So the most of the vascular bundles are smaller in size. Only the larger bundles are present at regular intervals. Two patches of sclerenchymatous tissues are present above and below the large vascular bundles only. So two patches of sclerenchymatous tissues are present in the larger vascular bundle above and below the vascular bundles. This sclerenchymatous patches gives mechanical support to the leaf. The small vascular bundles does not possess the sclerenchymatous patches. The vascular bundles are conjoined, collateral and closed. Each vascular bundles are surrounded by a parenchymatous cells. So they are called as a bundle sheath cells or budded parenchyma. So only the sclerenchymatous patches are present in the monocot leaf in larger leaf, whereas the smaller larger vascular bundles, whereas the smaller vascular bundles does not possess the sclerenchymatous patches. Both the vascular bundles are surrounded by a parenchymatous tissue. They are called as a bundle sheath cells or bordered parenchyma. Bundle sheath cells or bordered parenchyma. The cells of the bundle sheath generally contain starch grains as a storage product. The xylem of the vascular bundle is located towards the upper epidermis, whereas the phloem is located towards the lower epidermis. In C4 grasses, the bundle sheath cells are living and involved in C4 photosynthesis. They are the C4 plants, the bundle sheath cells are living and they are involved in the C4 photosynthesis. This bundle sheath are called as a Kranz sheath. What is meant by Kranz sheath? If the bundle sheath in the C4 plants are living, they are involved in the photosynthesis process. They are called as a Kranz sheath, which are present in the monocot leaves. In this video, you are going to learn about the new topic, structural organization, secondary growth of the plant. So in the previous chapter, you learned about the primary internal structure of the monocot and dicots. So in this previous chapter, you learn about the primary internal structure of monocot and dicots. So in the stem of grasses, that is monocot, it is soft, and the vascular bundles are closed in nature. In neem or large sized trees, the stem is very hard and woody. It's due to the presence of the secondary growth. So it is due to the presence of the secondary growth which confers the hardness to wood of the dicot stem and root. In monocots, usually there is no secondary growth are present. That is due to the absence of cambium. The stem is very weak or soft in nature. It is herbaceous. The increase in girth is called as a secondary growth or growth in girth. So here the trunk region is enlarged and hard and become hard due to the secondary growth. And secondary growth, this is called our growth in girth region. The girth region is enlarged. In this chapter, you are going to learn about that what is meant by secondary growth. So the plant organs originated from the apical meristem. It passes through a period of expansion in length under the girth. So the plant organs originated from the apical meristem and passes through a period of expansion. The formed cell is expanded in length and also the girth. The roots and stems grows in length with the help of a apical meristem. This is called as a primary growth or longitudinal growth. So the growth of the leaf and stem, stem and roots in length with the help of the apical meristem. This is called as a primary growth or longitudinal growth. The gymnosperm and most of the angiosperms, including some monocots, show an increases in thickness of stem and root by means of a secondary growth or longitudinal growth. So the initial stage of development of the root and the stem is called as a primary growth or longitudinal growth. The secondary growth, after they attain maturity, they become thickness in the trunk region in the stem and the root. It is called as a secondary growth or latitudinal growth. The secondary growth in dicots and gymnosperms is brought about by two lateral meristem. So we already know about the lateral meristem. Based upon the position of meristem, the meristems are classified into apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. So this lateral meristem are responsible for the thickness of the girth or secondary growth. There are two lateral meristems are involved in the secondary growth. They are vascular cambium and cork cambium. So vascular cambium or the cork cambiums are responsible for the secondary growth or latitudinal growth of the plant. The next, secondary growth in dicot stem. Vascular cambium and cork cambium are responsible for the secondary growth in dicot stem and also in roots. So vascular cambium. The vascular cambium is the lateral meristem that produces the secondary vascular tissue, that is secondary xylem and secondary phloem. So the vascular cambium are derived from the lateral meristem. They convert the primary xylem into secondary xylem and secondary phloem. So this secondary xylem and secondary xylem and secondary phloem are responsible for the secondary growth. So it is formed from the vascular cambium. Origin and formation of vascular cambium. A strip of vascular cambium that is believed to originate from the procambium. Procambium means the primary xylem and phloem. From this primary xylem and phloem, a strip of vascular cambium that is present in between the xylem and phloem. That is primary xylem and phloem of the vascular bundles. The cambial strip is known as a interfascicular or fascicular cambium. The cambium strip is known as the interfascicular or fascicular cambium. In between the vascular bundle, a few parenchymatous cells of the medullary rays that are in a line with the fascicular cambium becomes a meristematic. Meristematic means having the ability to divide. So from strips of vascular bundle or vascular cambium, it is called as a interfascicular cambium. So from in between the vascular bundle, a few parenchymatous cells present are called as a medullary rays that are in line with the fascicular cambium become meristematic. Meristematic means they have the ability to divide more number of cells and form the strip of vascular cambium. It is called as a interfascicular cambium. This interfascicular cambium joins with the interfascicular cambium on both the side to form a continuous ring is called as a vascular cambial ring. The differences between interfascicular and intrafascicular cambia are in intrafascicular cambium present inside the vascular bundle. The cambium is present inside the vascular bundle. Interfascicular cambium, the cambium is present between the vascular bundle. In intrafascicular cambium, the cambium is originated from the procambium. In interfascicular cambium, the cambium is originated from the medullary rays. Medullary rays are the parenchymatous tissues which are present in between the vascular bundle. The intrafascicular cambium, initially it forms a part of the primary meristem. It forms a part of a primary meristem. Primary meristem is primary xylem and phloem. The interfascicular cambium from a beginning it forms a part of a secondary meristem. It is formed from the part of the secondary meristem, interfascicular cambium. So it is cambial ring. The interfascicular cambium with the intrafascicular cambium on both the sides form a continuous ring. It is called as a vascular cambial ring. So the stem, TS of stem shows epidermis, middle region cortex. The cortex, in between the cortex, the vascular bundles are formed in a form of a ring is called as a U-still, that is bundle cap. The bundle cap is a pericycle is in the form of a sclerenchymatous tissue is called as a bundle cap. Then primary phloem, in between the primary phloem, fascicular cambium, next primary xylem, so interfascicular cambium, and central region is having a pith, that is interfascicular cambium, primary xylem and fascicular cambium. In this phylum, that is cark, phylogen, the second inner to the phylogen is present, it is a cork cambium, phyloderm, secondary phloem or secondary cortex, vascular cambial ring. So center, a vascular cambial ring are present, and secondary xylem. In between the vascular bundle, the medullary rays are present. In between the vascular bundle, the medullary rays are seen. The secondary phloem, yellow color represents secondary xylem. So in between a black color lines shows a medullary rays.